Good afternoon and welcome to the 9th annual 16-inch Softball Desert Classic. The big 16-inch B2B is back. I'm Randy Scott along with
Corey LaRusso from Clear Channel Extra Sports 910, and welcome everybody.
Very nice, Corey. So I take it you were here last year. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we've been out here now. This is the 9th annual, so the 8 years before I have been for. It's always been exciting, but one thing, Randy, I know you're not really familiar with the 16-inch game, but it's a big difference. This is the normal size softball, the yellow one in my right or my left hand. In my right hand is the 16-inch oversized ball, and what this does is make you actually have to position the ball. You have to play the game strategically rather than just try and hit it as hard or as far as you possibly can. You have to pay attention to where the fielders are, where your runners are, and what you want to do with it on each pitch.
And it's the 125th anniversary of this kind of ball game.
That's right. It's all from Chicago, where our esteemed host, Al Mag, is from. He does a great job with this event each and every year. But one more thing I want to point out for our viewing audience, and that is when each batter steps into the box, they start with a 1-1 count. So it's not 0-0. And if they actually foul the ball on their second strike, they're out.
And one thing the folks in Chicago will probably give them a hard time is if they actually use gloves.
That's right. The tradition of the game, which Al would be happy to tell you about, is to play barehanded. However, it takes a bigger man than me and most of the people on the Extra Sports 910 team. So I'm sure they have their gloves with them.
Well, all right. Very nice, Corey. Thanks for that information. And with no further ado, why don't we get started?
Let's do that. It's the CEOs of the Valley against Extra Sports 910. Let's see what happens, Randy.
Very nice. All right. CEO and President's Team roster, Arizona Technology Council, Steve Zylstra. Player and manager here with us today. Insight, Gene Holmquist, team captain. Avnet, Phil Gallagher. Dirks Moving and Storage, Rick Dirks. Don and Charlie's Don Carson is our coach. Phoenix Business Journal, Mike Mall. Avnet CEO, Rick Kamada. One Neck, Chuck Vermillion. LifeLock, Todd Davis. Chase Bank, Hannah Dieter. Echo Edge, Deborah Johnson. Vied, Paul Dystra. Spark Design, Vince Adam. Prisma, Bob Anderson. Planner, Dave Johnson. Rhodes Transportation, Mike Rhodes. All right. And from Extra 910 Celebrity Team roster, we have Sports, or Extra 910 Sports. Dan Bickley is here. He's playing third base. Extra 910 Sports, Mike Jurecki. Extra 910 Sports, Michael Bauer. Jeff Santo is playing. Arizona Cardinals, Andre Roberts is here. ABC 15 anchor, Stephanie Hawkridge. 3 TV sports anchor, Tim Ring. 12 news anchor, Faye Fredericks. Entertainment promoter extraordinary, Danny Zalesko's here today. Bo Brock playing shortstop for Extra 910. Chris Lewis, Extra 910. Shania Shocker is here. And Joe Mack. Good luck, teams. Thanks for playing. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did. We have a long, rich tradition of coming out here and getting our backsides handed to us. But luckily, none of us have any egos. None of us have any pride. We're a shameless group. We can handle it. We can take the annual drubbing. If you look over there on the other side of the field, the team of corporate executives, they have an air of professionalism that we lack sorely. And I think they have some talent that we lack sorely. So I really already see a skewed playing field, if you will, but what the heck, you know? They're already bringing us beer, and it's not even 1 o'clock. So
yeah, but you got a couple Arizona Cardinal athletes on your team this year.
Yeah, we recruited some ringers, tried to give us a little bit of prestige. And it's funny because when you ask, like, those guys who you playing with, they're like, I don't know any of these guys, man. Somebody just asked me to play. So it's funny, yeah. But we welcome them.
What position are you playing this year, Dan? Are you going to rotate a little bit?
I'm going to play third base. I like to play infield. It's a position I've played all my life.
It's a really good, stable position, third base.
Sure.
All right, let's talk about this 16-inch ball, softball.
Yes.
Are you going to use a glove today, or tell me how you feel about playing with this
it's
particular?
Funny. Well, I grew up in Chicago like a lot of these softball players here today. And this is a rite of passion. This is a rite of development in Chicago. This is everything in Chicago. And if you used one of these in Chicago, you would get your backside kicked. But luckily here in Arizona, we kind of
get away with it?
We have lenient rules, if you will. So in order to protect your fingers, which are at great peril if you play this game without a glove,
Right.
I'm going with the glove. As much as all my fellow Chicagoans will cringe at that, I'm going to use a glove.
Okay, because you're from Chicago originally, right, Dan?
I am South Side, born and
Nice.
raised.
And so you're a Cubby fan?
I actually grew up on the South Side and spent all my childhood in Wrigley Field, so I was one of those rare creatures that actually liked both teams.
We have not done well the last few years. We've kind of been the bad news bears.
Oh, no, so you're going to turn it around this year.
Well, I hope so, but we don't practice. I mean, these guys look like they got a few ringers, so it's really us jocks versus the suits. And we'll see who prevails.
Tell me how you feel about playing with this 16-inch softball.
It's challenging. I mean, they say you're not supposed to use the glove. I mean, really? I mean, I see people's fingers get broken on this. I mean, you can really swing hard and the ball doesn't go anywhere, and then it's deceiving when it's coming at you. So it's different, but I started doing it about 5 or 6 years ago, and I like it.
And I apparently this is the 125th anniversary of playing this way with this ball.
Yeah, I guess it originated out of Chicago, and obviously Al Magan and my radio partners from Chicago, along with my producers. So, I mean, these guys have gotten into it. I didn't realize it until they showed me the game. I mean, I'm normally used to a softball, not a 16-inch ball like this, but it can be challenging for you.
I am here with Rick Hamada, CEO of Avnet. Thank you for having me, Rick.
Pleasure to be here, Randy. Really enjoy this.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit more about this event.
Well, our executive communications director, Al Mag, puts this together. He exported it from Chicago with a lot of other things that he's proud of from old Chi-Town. And we're out here for some good causes, you know, for the Juvenile Diabetes Research #1, Phoenix Sport Complex, and also for the therapy animals. So we're spreading the wealth a little bit here, having a little fun. Nobody's too serious, trying not to get hurt, and it's all for a good cause.
It is definitely a fun game, and what's different about it is the fact that you guys are using the 16-inch softball,
That's right.
which is celebrating its 125th anniversary of playing ball this way. How do you like the ball game?
Well, you know, I don't know how it survived that long because it's like playing with a pumpkin out there. But hey, you know what? Nobody's getting hurt. We're having a good time. It's worth a shot.
And what position are you playing this year?
I'm second base now for the second time. And yeah, so hanging in there. No errors, no damage, no blood. Everything's good.
From Extra Sports 910, Clear Channel Broadcasting, assisted to the afternoon drive time show, Bickley and MJ. Everybody welcome Sinead Shocker with the national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Nice job. You're going to take the time for one more minute, okay? Sorry. But this is why you're here to play. We want to thank you for donating your time and energy to be here and have some fun. But we're actually raising some money for some folks. First is the therapy dogs. Mary Lou, come here. These dogs, come on, right? These dogs help make kids' lives a little nicer at hospitals. Number two, we're trying to help the Sports Commission. The Phoenix Sports Commission is doing a great job of doing some efforts around here, acknowledging some of the great athletes in Arizona, and they're going to try to put together a Hall of Fame, so we're trying to help that. And last but not least, this is a kind of a Chicago event, 16-inch softball. We got hot dogs and beefs and all that kind of stuff here. And we were able to get lucky and get one of the Santos. Mr. Jeff, would you come here? And if you don't know who Ron Santo is, would you just play that real quick for now? If you notice, the initials, juvenile diabetes is obviously a terrible disease many children face. And Ron, you know he's a great ball player, Hall of Famer going in this year, and he loved baseball. He also played 16-inch softball. That's what we were also trying to show you. There was a commercial he did that he was in. And the cool thing is he raised $60 million for juvenile diabetes. And we're going to give them some money today because that Chicago attitude and that effort is coming to Arizona. And now I'd like to introduce Jeff to talk about that.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here. My dad's walk has gone on for 33 years in Chicago, and now it's coming to Arizona annually. It'll be November 3rd. So the Ron Santo Walk has now come to Arizona, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. So we're very excited about that. My sister's here too, Linda. Come here. So we're very proud about that. And my dad, you know, he felt that this was the reason he was put on earth to find the cure. So we're excited about that, and we're glad to be here representing him. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. Play ball.
Everybody, welcome to the feature game of the afternoon, the 9th annual 16-inch business-to-business softball desert classic presented by Avnet. It's the CEOs of the Valley, a.k.a. DeSuits, against Extra Sports 910. That's Clear Channel's Extra Sports 910, and all their air talent and a little bit of TV thrown in there. Al, my esteemed color co-host this afternoon.
Yeah.
All right, Al, well, let's just get things started. It's going to be the Suits, or the CEOs of the Valley. They're going to start out in the field, and let's go ahead and set them for you defensively. At first base, it'll be Steve Zylstra. At second, Rick Amata. You know Rick very well.
Yes, I do.
Shortstop, Chuck Vermillion. Over at third base will be Todd Davis. Playing right field will be Paul Dykstra. Over in center is Mike Rhodes, and we know that he has talent. In left field, it's Vince Adam from Spark of Hope. Your rover, and I mean your rover, is going to be Hannah Dieter. Your catcher this afternoon is Deborah Johnson. And pitching is our old friend, Gene Holmquist, Al.
He's helped make this game the way it is.
Yeah,
He's
it
got
is.
all the
right.
CEOs.
And let's go to
Steve
the Extra
Zylstra
Sports
this year.
910. Here's their batting lineup. Andre Roberts is going to lead off. He's our best player, our speed, and he's a wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. So lead us off, Andre.
Finally, Bickley and these guys finally got a ringer.
That's right. Remember, in 16-inch softball, we start with a 1-1 count. The first pitch is a ground ball over to the third baseman, Todd Davis. It gets by the first baseman, Zylstra, and with that kind of speed, it's no surprise to see Andre Roberts on first base with nobody out.
Yep, they finally got a ringer.
All
That's
right.
good.
That brings up one of our most well-known talents on Extra Sports 910. That's Mike Jarecki, otherwise known as MJ, Cardinal Insider for ESPN. And he lines it up the middle. Vermillion can't handle it. That'll get Roberts to second, and wouldn't you know it, Extra Sports 910 has something cooking here in the first, Al.
Well, I think Chuck thought he had a double play.
Well, I thought he might have picked up his head a little quick on that short hop.
Yep.
All right, that brings up Bo Brock, a proud ASU alumnus. Been working for us a long time, not only on Extra Sports, but KFYI, and doing some traveling. That hits him.
There could be a fight.
Will he charge the mound, Al?
Well,
Does that happen a lot in 16-inch?
We'll see if Bauer or whoever's pitching for those guys throws something at their guys.
Brock's tough. He's a softball player. He steps back in the box, and it's a pop fly into short center field. There's Mike Rhodes, and he knows how to play. He'll record the
Nice play.
first out of the inning. First and second, one down, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Mike Bauer, executive producer, Bickley and MJ in the afternoons.
Famous Chicagoan.
He thinks he is. Yeah, that's true. No doubt about it. He's got a little talent. He likes to play without a glove, which is old-style Chicago fashion, right?
Yep.
First and second, one down, ground ball to Vermillion. He flips it over to second for one, over to first, not in time. That'll get Roberts to third, but now there's two down. With men on first and third, Bauer does reach first base. Bickley, now the batter, our third baseman, and the other half of Bickley and MJ in the afternoon.
This is a clutch play right now. Everybody's counting on Bickley, Chicagoan.
Holmquist looks in for the sign. First pitch is high, up. Johnson lets that go, as does Bickley, and it's quickly 2 balls and a strike.
They almost had a double play. You know, Amata almost turned it. Vermillion, they did this last year, so they almost pulled it off again.
All right.
They were strong up the middle.
Roberts on third. Bickley drives it down the first baseline. That will be picked up by the first baseman, recorded for the out, and that will retire
Bickley's
the
trying to state his
side.
case.
Bickley trying to plead his case that it was a foul ball, but I think that would be a strike 3 anyways. Okay, end of a half an inning. Extra Sports 9-10, not surprisingly, fails to score. The Suits, the CEOs of the Valley, are coming up, Al. We go to the bottom half of the first inning with no score. The CEOs of the Valley now coming up for the first time. Chuck Vermillion is going to lead it off. Then comes Rick Hamada. Dave Johnson is in right field to be batting third. Mike Rhodes, Steve Zylstra, Rick Dirks, Vince Adams, Gene Holmquist, Deborah Johnson, Paul Dykstra, Todd Davis, Hannah Dieter, and Scott Sanders will be the last batter of the lineup. Let's set Extra Sports 9-10 defensively. Joe McIntyre is behind the plate. Denny Zalesko is the pitcher. Over at first base, you've got Mike Bauer. At second, you have our national anthem singer, Shanae Shocker. You have Bo Brack at shortstop, Dan Bickley at third, MJ's in left, Andre Roberts in center, Chris Lewis is in right, and our rover is Jeff Santo. All that being said, let's turn it over to Jim Bronson behind the plate.
They got too many players.
Okay.
They said they were going to try something different this year.
Have
an extra guy.
We're going to cheat. Yeah. All right, so be sure and edit that little part out. Okay, here we go. Bottom of the first, leading off for the CEOs of the Valley is the shortstop, Chuck Vermillion.
CEO of
Zalisco looks in for the sign. The first pitch is inside, and quickly the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. It's a line shot in left field. MJ is going to play this one on a bounce and a leadoff single for Vermillion as Jarecki quickly gets the ball back in to the pitcher Zalesko, and that'll bring up the CEO for Avnet, Rick Hamada. Yay!
He's the man. He is the man.
Zalesko's pitch is pretty flat. Hamada gets underneath it. Bickley stumbling everywhere. This could go foul. No, it's the back of the base. It's a fair ball. Brock picks it up, but it's first and second. Nobody out. Bickley with a little trouble in his footing.
Well, it was a line drive, I think. It was a line shot to left.
That was a shot.
That was a shot.
There's no way Bickley could have handled that one.
It was hard hit, lost in the sun, the whole thing.
That's right. All right, nobody out.
Tough one.
And here comes the tree of the CEO Valley team. This is Dave Johnson, the right fielder, and we're not lacking size here.
I think there were some HR practices that were handled a little bit differently on this
First and second, nobody out. Ground ball to Bickley. He can't handle it. It handcuffs him, and that'll make everybody safe. Nobody out, bases loaded, and the CEOs of the Valley definitely have something stirring here in the bottom of the first.
And they got a pretty good hitter coming up.
Yeah, this is a man who's done damage, not only in the CEO game, but also in our regular men and co-ed tournaments. This is Mike Rhodes from Rhodes Transportation, the cleanup hitter. He'll look at the first one out, but we know he can do damage.
I'd walk him.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Walk in the first inning is what Al's calling for. This is a fly ball. Jarecki's underneath it. He loses his footing. It goes over his head. This could go to the wall. Vermillion scores. Hamada scores. Here comes Johnson, and Rhodes cleans the bases with a first inning grand slam home run. There was no luck for Extra Sports 9-10 as Jarecki lost his footing early in the flight of that ball, Al.
I've seen Jarecki play for years, and he has never made a mistake like that. It's very rare.
Well, let's just be happy that Bickley and MJ have a radio show. All right. Now batting, Steve Zylstra for the CEOs of the Valley.
He's the manager.
It's a ground ball. Bo Brack cannot handle that, and we're going to have nobody out still. Man on first base. You guys are horrible!
I think Danny Zalesko's ERA is still 0. That's what I said. Still
it's
0.
4-0. No earned runs in the inning. Zalesko still got his ERA intact. And it's a 2 strikes quickly. He swings at it. Shocker, maybe the best player and singer on the team, gets by her. Now first and second, still nobody out. And the CEOs of the Valley, 4 quick ones, Al, and now have it cooking again. First and second, nobody out, and that brings up the left fielder, Vince Adams from Spark of Hope. It's a fly ball down the left field line. That's going to drift foul.
Vince has some
Bickley
Chicago
gives it a look.
blood in him. He's a big supporter.
The
of this.
umpires for today's game, Jim Bronson behind the plate, and Gary Evers is out on the field.
Vince is a big supporter of the program. Spark of Hope.
Yep.
It's his deal. Helps us take care of the charities.
And this is going to be
He's
a
out.
strike 3 foul ball, and that'll be the first out of the inning for Extra Sports 9-10. 4-0. Men on first and second, 1 down, and that brings up the pitcher, our good friend, Gene Holmquist, who has since last year gone to Insight.
Yep, they bought us a company.
That's a beautiful thing. I know he's happy. First pitch from Zalisco is a ball. Quickly, 2 balls and a strike on Holmquist.
Ooh, nice
now,
shot.
there's a line
That's
shot. Will it stay fair? Yes, it will.
Good
Just
shot.
inside the line, that gets by Jarecki. Here comes Zylstra. Here comes Dirks. And Holmquist stands up at second with a double. That scores 2. The score now 6-0. Only 1 down in the inning. That brings up the catcher, Deborah Johnson.
She owns an environmental company for transportation.
And she'll look at that first pitch.
She's won a lot of awards.
Holmquist on second. 1 down. The score is already 6-0. And that second pitch, now 3-1 on Johnson. And that'll be a called strike. Full. This is the payoff pitch and 16-inch. And it's a walk. Johnson will take her base. That'll put runners on first and second. And that'll bring up Paul Dykstra, the right fielder. Only 1 down if they can turn 2.
He's the chairman of
They get out of
VIAD.
the inning.
He's first time he's played with us.
And it's a ground ball. That'll sneak inside the third base line. Gets by Bickley. Here comes Holmquist. The score now 7-0. Johnson will stop at first on a single to left field by Paul Dykstra. The score is now 7-0. Only 1 out. And that brings up Todd Davis.
It's another first timer from LifeLock, CEO.
Todd's playing third base today. So far done a good job as Extra Sports 910 did not score in the top half of the inning.
Whoa.
This is a fly ball. MJ looks like he might have this one. He does. That's 2 outs. Back over to second to double off Johnson. And they do as Santo steps on the base and retires the side. However, the damage is done. 7 runs by the CEOs of the Valley. And at the end of 1, 7-0.
But we got some outstanding players, and I think we're going to be all right.
And wherever position they put you in, you will execute, correct?
I will execute wherever they put me. They put me in the infield, the outfield. I may be able to pitch a little bit. You know, that's not my forte, but they may be able to put me behind the plate, and I'll make it happen.
So, Andre, let me ask you this. How do you feel about playing with this 16-inch softball? It's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I played softball with my dad when I was younger, but this is a little bit different, and it's actually softer, so I may not even use a glove today.
Right,
And we start off the second inning with one of the longest running hosts at Extra Sports 910, one of the co-hosts of the Fantasy Forum, old friend Chris Lewis. And I'll tell you, Al, Chris Lewis and I started right around the same time with Backspin the Golf Show and the Fantasy Forum, the 2 longest running programs on Extra Sports 910. How about that?
Very nice.
All right, Lewis is a big music aficionado, works really closely with a lot of labels, tries to find new talent, and he flies it to the shortstop, Vermillion, gets underneath it, and there's quickly 1 down. And that'll bring up, well, let's just say the good genes of the team. Jeff Santo, our rover, is now up with 1 down here in the top of the second.
He's already played a couple games. Let's see if he's ready for this.
I'm sure he knows what he's doing with a bat. It's got to run in the family. He looks comfortable, and he'll watch that pitch. Good eye. That's Hannah Deiter behind the plate.
He hasn't played in since 15 years or so.
And Jeff ropes this one into right field. Getting underneath that one is our good friend Paul Dykstra, and that'll retire. Santo, quickly, 2 down, and our pitcher coming up, Denny Zalesko, well-known concert promoter in Arizona.
He should help us promote this tournament.
Yeah, let's get him into this. It's a ground ball over to the third baseman, and that is Todd Davis. It gets by Zylstra, and now Zalesko's on first base with 2 down. That'll bring up, well, you know her from the national anthem. She also is playing second base for Extra Sports 910.
She was terrific.
Shanae Shucker.
Especially when she was asked 5 minutes before.
Shanae has talent. She's also a really good little worker, working with Bickley and MJ in the afternoon as an assistant. Ground ball over to Vermillion. He'll try and retire at first, and she's safe. It gets by Zylstra. Zalesko's going to try for third, and he'll get there without a throw.
He showed us his speed.
It's so far. And that'll make Shocker the MVP of the day for Extra Sports 910 as she moves Zalesko over to third. That brings up long-time work for Extra 910, Joe McIntyre. He's catching today. Almost kills himself coming out of the box, but it's quickly 1-2. I've known Joe Mack for years. Started off as a producer of my own program, Hal, at Backspin the Golf Show. Moved up to doing updates, producing in the afternoon, and now he's doing a lot of traffic around the valley. 1-2, ground ball right back up the middle. Gets by Holmquist. Vermillion can't handle it, and Extra Sports 910 scores their first run of the day with men on first and second and 2 down. The score is now 7-1.
After 2 outs.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right.
So this whole game, both teams are making errors. Now, Ring has
Mike Ring, or Tim Ring, I'm sorry, is now our batter from Channel 3.
And he's from Chicago.
So he knows 16-inch ball.
He knows it well.
First and second, he flies it into right center field. There's Rhodes. He can't get to it. It gets by the right fielder. That's Paul Dykstra. It goes to the wall. This could be a home run, but he just blew out his leg. And that'll do it. We're going to score 2 on that hit. Shocker and McIntyre score, but Tim Ring is quickly going to the DL. He's safe at third with a triple, but he came up lame, rounding second. Safe at third, 2 down,
one of our
2-run score, and it's now 7-3 in favor of the CEOs of the Valley.
One of our sponsors, PMT Ambulance, is going to go out and going to have to help him.
Yeah, we're going to have to get him looked at for sure. And ground ball is going to be called foul by the home plate umpire, Jim Bronson, and it's quickly a ball and 2 strikes. And it'll be a ground ball to Vermillion. He scoops it up over to first base, and that will retire the side, but Extra Sports 910 picks up 3 runs through 1.5. The CEOs of the Valley 7, Extra Sports 910 3. All right, we are ready. Jim Bronson has given the signal, and off we go to the bottom of the second inning. This is Hannah Deiter in the batter's box. Catch last inning. Over to Bo Brack. Gets it to Bauer, who steps on the bag for the first out of the inning. Nice playing, guys.
She has not played this game before, and she looked pretty good.
All right, that brings up Scott Sanders, a last-minute replacement for the CEOs of the Valley, the Suits. They're leading 7-3 here with 1 down in the second. Scott Sanders. And it's going to be a quick 1-2 count on Sanders. Foul ball. First pitch. Shocker's getting tired at second. And quickly 2-2. Make it bigger next time. Zalesko is pointing to McIntyre, trying to move him around. And with a 2-2 count, it's a ground ball. Over to Bo. He flips it to Bauer, and those 2 have put out the first 2 outs of the inning.
No errors.
They look like they know what they're doing. It just looks like. All right, now batting for the CEOs of the Valley. Our leadoff hitter is shortstop Chuck Vermillion, stepping into the plate. And this one also goes to Bo Brack. Over to Bauer, and he can't handle it as Brack's throw is in the dirt. Vermillion will go to second on the error, and the Suits have a man on second with 2 outs.
Mr. Ramada's up. He's doing a great job.
All right, that brings up the CEO of Avnet, Rick Hamada. 2 down, man on second for the CEOs. He's going to step in the bucket and pull it right down the left field line. There's MJ backing up on the ball. Vermillion will score easily.
RBI.
And it's now 8-3 in favor of the CEOs on the RBI by Hamada.
He wanted to play. He said, he changed his plight to get here. He wanted it.
All right, this comes up to the biggest player of the CEOs. That's Dave Johnson playing right field today. And he'll look at the first pitch from Zalesko. That's Hamada at first. 2 down in the inning. Right now the score is 8-3 in favor of the CEOs of the Valley. And Johnson looks at that. Now a 3-1 count. Remember, it's 16-inch. You start off with a 1-1 count. So right now, 3-1 on Johnson. He drives this one into left field. Brack going back. He makes the catch to retire the side, but the CEOs do pick up 1 run. Through 1.5. 8 for the CEOs of the Valley, 3 for Extra Sports 910. Here we go. Everybody ready? Okay, now batting for us. Help me with this. From Channel 15, which is our next door neighbor. She is the evening host. That's Stephanie Hockridge. And she almost killed herself on her way to first base, but they get her, and they still haven't tagged her. And we're going to call out on injury. She's just totally out. All right. She looked good doing it. Let's put it that way. That's right. Very graceful and elegant, no doubt.
Which is not exactly what words I was expecting to hear at this game.
That brings up DJ Brown with 1 out. 8-3 is the score of the game.
Both teams scoring because of errors.
And this is going to be a ground ball to Vermillion. He does a great job over at shortstop. Over to first base to retire Brown, and it's quickly 2 outs for Extra Sports 9-10.
Pretty smooth over at first. Here's Faye.
Faye Fredericks is now our batter. She's obviously not part of our crowd with the face for radio, like Stephanie and Shanae. They buck all the guys. And let's see, it's a ground ball right back to Holmquist, over to first, and that will retire the side. The CEOs of the Valley now 8, Extra Sports 9-10, 3 through 2 innings.
Classic. I am here with Danny Zalesko, who is pitching this game on the celebrity roster. How's it going, Danny?
It's going great. We're coming back. We had a rough first inning, but we're getting past it. Just got to score 1 at a time, like we didn't do right there. Okay, we're out. I got the pitch.
We're doing good. He's going to go pitch, but before you go, real quick, did you participate last year?
I did.
And did you play with a glove or without it? Because I know that's 16.
You got to use a glove. You know, I mean, you're not going to be able to catch it. These things come pretty fast, even though it's a big ball. That ball is not all that soft.
Yeah.
It should be soft, hard ball.
Okay. Fantastic.
Going to the top of the 3rd inning, with the CEOs of the Valley leading 8-3 over Extra Sports 9-10, and the cleanup hitter for the CEOs, Mike Rhodes, will step into the batter's box to lead off the 3rd inning.
Well, they should have walked him the first time.
Well, the bases were loaded. It did go towards MJ. He didn't have his footing. It was a grand slam. Okay.
I'm sure MJ would have caught it.
I know he could have. He should have. He's got it. He'll catch the next one.
He's got the speed.
All right, Rhodes. That's right. He did, didn't he? We'll do that for people. All right, here we go. Top of the 3rd. There has not been one earned run on Zalesko all day, but he's losing 8-3.
Right.
And Rhodes will take a big cut of that first pitch, and it's quickly strike 2.
I think he was.
And this is a line drive down the left field line. Will it stay fair? And it's a foul ball, but it's still an out. Why? Because in 16-inch softball, that second foul ball is an out.
Right.
Rhodes and Extra Sports 910 Sap, happy to see him sit down.
That rule is set up so people couldn't just foul the ball off all night long.
There you go. All right, that'll bring up Steve Zylstra into the batter's box. Steve's been bouncing back and forth from first base to right field to the bench.
He's the manager and coach. He can do what the hell he wants.
That's right. And there's a fly ball to the shortstop, Bo Brack.
Wow.
He cannot get it with the bare hand. That'll send it into center field. Andre Roberts picks it up quickly and gets it in, holding Zylstra to a single. That brings up Rick Dirks.
Rick's coming off the DL.
Batting left-handed.
His team usually wins the Mins.
That's right.
For the first time in years, Dirks is not going to win the Mins because they ain't playing.
And the first pitch is a ground ball over to Shocker. She picks it up, gets it to first, and just a bit too late. Nice play by Shocker, but Speedy Dirks gets to first base, and first and second now with one down.
Selesco is going lefty on lefty, showing his versatility here.
All right, that brings up from Spark of Hope, the left fielder, Vince Adams from the CEOs of the Valley. He swings at the first pitch. Bickley picks it up. He makes the tag on Zylstra.
Whoa, nice play.
For a double play. Way to go, Dan Bickley, and that will retire the CEOs without a run that
Excellent play. Excellent play.
And we go to the bottom half of the third inning with the score of the CEOs of the Valley 8, Extra Sports 9-10-3. The bottom of the third.
The first place Cardinals.
Extra Sports 9-10. Top of the third. Top of fourth, sorry. Top of four, Extra Sports 9-10 steps in the box with our leadoff hitter, Andre Roberts. And the first pitch is a ball inside.
Thank Andre for coming.
Jim Bronson, our home plate umpire today. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, that's Gary Evers.
So
out
he's
there
2
in the
for 2.
field. And that's a single to left field. And it got through the left fielder. That is an easy extra base for Roberts. I don't play with that kind of speed, Al.
Now I understand why he plays wide receiver.
That's right.
For our team.
All right, that brings up
MJ.
The most in-shape player of Extra Sports 9-10, MJ, Mike Jarecki. We know his show from the afternoons. Of course, he precedes Backspin the Golf Show Wednesday nights.
It's dropping.
And the first pitch is going to be a quick strike 2. Count 1 and 2 on Jarecki.
There should be a little more hustle on that one.
Dive!
Third baseman just took it easy.
All right, 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to MJ. And he looks at the pitch as a fly ball over the shortstop Vermillion's head, and that goes to Dirks, who makes the catch. And it is now 1 down, man on second, and that brings up the shortstop for Extra Sports 9-10, Bo Brack. Bo's made some nice plays in the field today. And this is a fly ball to left field. And this is going to drop right in front of Vince Adams. He tries to get into third to catch Roberts, not in time, and now it's second and third for Extra Sports 9-10 with only 1 out. Mike Bauer will be the batter. He's the cleanup hitter for Extra Sports 9-10. And Al, this is our highest paid player right here.
And everybody's counting on him. This is big.
They moved him into the cleanup spot this year.
This is big. The pressure's
took him off his shortstop so he could concentrate on his hitting.
The pressure's on. They're a little talking
Second and third with 1 down. And Bauer gets a hold of this one. It's center. This is going to drop. This is going to score runs.
Bauer comes through.
Here comes Roberts. Brack moves over to third. An RBI single by Bauer, and that's earning your keep. 8-4.
Here's Beck.
CEOs of the Valley.
You can make a difference here.
All right, that brings up third baseman Dan Bickley. Made a fantastic double play, unassisted.
These guys don't need a coach at first.
That's because Bauer's there. He knows what he's doing. There's a fly ball to the second baseman, Rick Amata. He puts it away. Now 2 outs in the inning on Extra Sports 9-10.
No problem.
8-4 the score, and that brings up the Fantasy Forum's Chris Lewis. There's Holmquist chatting it up as usual out there. He's one of the more talkative pitchers in the league, Al.
He's trash talking.
That's right. Lewis drives it into right field. This is going to drop. Extra will score another run. It's 8-5. Bauer continues on to third with his blinding speed, and he's safe. He's safe under the tag.
I could have used a Polaroid and had that picture done by the time he got there.
That's right. And he's checking the hammies. Medic. Medic.
Just give him a beer.
Medic at third base.
Beer and a hot dog.
All right, that brings up Jeff Santo. He looks ready to drive or run in. It's 8-5 as Extra Sports 910 making a comeback here in the fourth.
You know, home run ties it up.
Outfield is playing back to prevent that. Quickly 3-1 on Santo. He drives us into left field.
It could drop.
There's Adam. He's under it.
Oh.
He dives. He can't come up with it, and Bauer will score. Over to third goes Lewis, and into second safely is Santo, and Extra Sports 910 picks up another run. It's 8-6. We're making our move.
That's right.
That brings up the pitcher.
It was a good try.
Even though the CEOs of the Valley have scored 8, they've all been unearned.
Here's Lesko, little Chicago
Velasco's
background.
been so solid on the mound all day.
That's
He's
right.
had no defense behind him.
Let's see if he can hit.
And quickly a 2-1 count on Zalesko. The tying run at second base in the form of Jeff Santo. And this is a line drive to left field. Adam is underneath it. He makes the catch, and that will retire the side. However,
good drive.
Extra Sports 910 picks up 3 runs. Going to the bottom of the fourth, the score is 8 for the CEOs of the Valley, 6 for Extra Sports 910.
Very nice, Stephanie. And what position are you playing this afternoon?
I am going to play batter. I said, leave me off the field. I don't want to lose for our team. So I said, this is probably best. I'll bat, and then that'll be it.
Okay, and what do you know about this 16-inch ball? Anything?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. So I
It
know
looked
that
intimidating?
I don't think my glove's big enough for this.
Well, apparently in Chicago, you're not supposed to wear a glove with it.
Okay, well, there you go. So it'll be perfect. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. This will be interesting. At least I think it gives me a better chance of actually hitting the ball. So, because it's so much bigger. So
you can make direct contact with it.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for coming out. You're playing.
We go to the bottom of the fourth inning right now. It is the CEOs of the Valley, 8, Extra Sports 9-10, 6, and stepping into the batter's box to lead things off is the pitcher from Insight. That's Gene Holmquist.
One of our sponsors, them and Emerson.
Very nice. Velasco stays on the mound.
2 of our great technology companies in
8
town.
unearned runs scored on Velasco. There's a fly ball. Shocker moving back. It's going to go over her head. That goes into right field and a leadoff single for Holmquist. Quickly, man on first, nobody out, and that brings up the catcher, Deborah Johnson. And the first pitch was Let's Go is ball. Quickly 2-1. 3-1.
He walked her last time. He's afraid of her.
And she's going to hit it right back to Lasco. Quickly back to second.
Whoa.
Brown picks it up over to first, but they cannot retire the Johnson at first base, but they do get a runner out at second. 1 down, man on first, 1 out.
Nice play at second. Zalesko knew what he was doing.
That's right, and that brings up for us right now
Chairman of Viad.
Paul Dykstra.
He knows what he's doing.
Lines it right up the middle. Andre Roberts picks it up, gets it into second, and it gets away. Down goes Johnson. She's okay at second base, and Dykstra safe at first with 1 down.
She's tough.
Yeah.
Mr. Dykstra was a good pickup by the CEOs. Here's another one from LifeLock.
Todd Davis.
I mean, he's ripped the ball both times.
Yep.
He knows what he's doing. He's played baseball before.
Dykstra trying to get a lead off of first. They check him. Quickly back he gets. And this is going to be a foul ball, and it's 2-2.
I asked him if Paul had played 16-inch. He said he had. Long time ago. We've got a couple of coaches for the CEOs. We've got Phil Gallagher, who's the president of a big division of ours, sell IT products.
At Avnet?
At first, yep, at Avnet.
And
Coach at third is Don Carson. From Carson's. Nice shot.
And MJ cannot get that one. He does pick it up on the bounce. Johnson looks like she might run home. She is coming home. The throw from Brack is off the mark. It gets over McIntyre. Johnson scores. Here comes Dykstra. He's going to
hustles.
score, and now it's
What hustle.
10-6 in favor of the CEOs as they score 2.
The third base coach, Don Carson, from Don and Charlie's, waved everybody home.
That's right. They pick up 2 runs. It's 10-6 now in favor of the CEOs. And that brings up our catcher,
She's from
Hannah Deiter.
From Chase.
Ground
Need
ball.
alone,
Zalasko's going to try and get the guy at
Whoa.
third, and they've got him.
Nice
Good
play.
by Bickley and Zalasko, and that'll get Deiter to first with 2 down.
She's doing pretty well for someone who's never played before.
No doubt about it. That brings up Scott Sanders, a last-second addition
We
for
should
the
ask-
Suits.
Maybe we can get a loan from her. From Chase.
10-6 the score. And that's going to be quick 1 and 2. And they're going to try and pick off Deiter. The ball gets away from Bauer. Good thing Gallagher's there to back him up. The coach for the Suits. And this is a ground ball. Goes right back to Zalasko. He stops it. He gets it to first, not in time. And it'll be first and second with 2 down for the CEOs of the Valley, leading 10-6.
Uh-oh. This ain't good.
No, that brings up the top of the order, and Chuck Vermillion will step into the batter's box. Chuck's played with us a number of years.
Yes. Every year, shortstop.
First, second, 2 outs, and a quick 2-1 count to Vermillion. And 3-1 the count. So Lasko's having trouble finding the strike zone. And that's a quick walk for Vermillion. It'll be bases loaded with the CEO for Avnet stepping into the batter's box, Rick Hamada. And Rick can really do some damage here, Al. Deiter is over at third. Sanders is at second. Vermillion at first. Hamada is the batter with 2 down.
This is a big play. This could change the game.
And it's a fly ball. Shocker's underneath it. She
Whoa.
makes the catch to retire the side, and the MVP continues her good play. We go to the top of the 5th. With the score, CEOs of the Valley 10, Extra Sports 9, 10, 6. All right. We go to the top of the 5th inning right now. The CEOs of the Valley leading Extra Sports 9, 10 by a score of 10-6. And stepping into the batter's box is the second baseman for Extra Sports 9, 10. That's Shanae Shucker. And she swings to the first pitch. It's a ground ball back to Holmquist. He turns, he fires to first, and that will get her. 1 down quickly for Extra Sports 9-10, and that'll bring up the catcher, Joe McIntyre. I still love her. All right, here we go. 1 down, 10-6 lead for the Suits, otherwise known as the CEOs of the Valley. Joe McIntyre in the batter's box. And we need to get something started here. This is a line drive.
Nice play.
Right to the third baseman, Todd Davis, who puts it away, and there's 2 down.
It's getting quiet. Are they tired?
And I still don't have his name in here. I just asked him. Who is this guy up to bat? Neil Larimore. We said that already. Neil Larimore is in the batter's box. Spelled Larimore. And he's one of the best players I've ever seen in my life. It's a line drive into left field. Is that good enough? You'll keep me. Thank you. That's my bosses, in case anybody didn't know that. I just learned it. All right. That'll bring up from ABC 15, Stephanie Hockridge.
She's a DH.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. She takes a licking and keeps on ticking, and here we go. And it's a ground ball to the shortstop, Vermillion. He tries to scoop it. He stumbles. He throws, and they just do get her by a foot, and that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The CEOs of the Valley 10, Extra Sports 9, 10, 6. We are about to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Extra Sports 9-10 trailing by 4 runs. The Suits, the CEOs, are about to step into the batter's box. Once again, we've got Gallagher as the first base coach and Don Carson from Don and Charlie's over at third base.
So Don has the best ribs of all time.
Yep.
And so in Chicago, I think the 4 food groups are Chicago hot dogs, beef sandwiches,
love it,
pizza, and ribs. And you get them at Don's.
Yeah, Don and Charlie's, one of the best spots in Scottsdale. If you haven't been there, go out there, check it out. It's certainly one of Al's favorite places and mine as well. Once I found it, it quickly hit my my top 5 list.
So
all right.
The teams come in second tonight. The co-eds and the men, they go to Don's, and if they come in first, they get suites to the D-backs.
That's a great prize. Stepping into the batter's box, been the right fielder all day for the CEOs of the Valley. That is Dave Johnson, leading 10-6. Nobody out. Velasco still on the mound. And Johnson ropes this one foul going down the left field line, and it will stay foul. And it's quickly 1-2.
That went a long way.
2-2.
I would throw it inside.
And he drives this one.
This is going to be hard.
Towering shot. The wind's playing games with it.
Ooh.
And Bo Brack makes the catch with Brown diving to try and get a piece of that one. Good concentration by Brack, and it's quickly 1 out. That brings up the cleanup hitter for the CEOs of the Valley. That's Mike Rhodes, been playing center field and hitting the ball hard all day long.
They were very lucky. No one got hurt on that one.
And Rhodes drives this one. There's Shocker. Ooh. She gets in the way. She knocks it down. Probably holds Rhodes to a single, and a nice play at second base defensively by Shocker. With 1 down, a man on first base, and that'll bring up Steve Zylstra. And Zylstra will look at a strike. Quickly 2-2. Man on first, 1 down. And it's a drive to the shortstop, Brack. He goes over to first for the shore out. Bauer picks it up. Goes over to second to try and catch Rhodes leading off the base, but he's quickly back. Nice. 2 down, man on second.
Nice play by Bauer.
Yeah, and that'll bring up.
Saw some light when he jumped up.
Rick Dirks. Left-handed hitter. The only one we've seen all day.
Mm-hmm.
Gives him a first step, first base. Ground balls he can beat out. And this is a ground ball.
This is trouble.
Bauer came off the bag. Shocker will pick it up, get it over to Bauer. Not in time. Rounding third is Rhodes, and he'll score. 11-6, the CEOs of the Valley with 2 down. That brings up the left fielder, Vince Adams, for the CEOs of the Valley. From Spark of Hope, longtime contributor to the tournament.
He's played every year, 9 years.
Fly ball, left field. Under it is Lewis. Making the catch is Lewis, and retiring the side is Lewis. But the CEOs of the Valley pick up another run. It's now 11 for the CEOs, 6 for Extra Sports 9-10. We go to the top of the 6th inning. 11-6 is the score. The CEOs of the Valley are leading. Batting for Extra Sports 9-10 is DJ Brown. He's been roving all afternoon out there in center field, short right at times.
He must be replacing somebody here. His pick.
And it's a ground ball to the shortstop, Vermillion. Over to first is Zylstra. He makes the catch, and it is an out. He kept his foot on the base. 1 down quickly, and that'll bring up the catcher for Extra Sports 9-10, Joe McIntyre.
No.
Not Joe McIntyre? What are you doing, Joe McIntyre? Stop confusing me. That'll bring up the lovely
6.
Faye Fredericks. She certainly adds some sparkle to our team.
Well, she's replacing her hubby. Got hurt.
Oh, and
He would have had a home run.
quickly a
That
foul
changed.
ball. Strike one.
He hurt his leg.
Hubby's on the DL for a while.
Yep.
And ground ball right back to Holmquist. Faye will run it out, and they will retire at first base. Quickly, 2 down, and that brings up the only athlete we have, Andre Roberts, our center fielder.
I wouldn't let Corey in the building if I were you guys. I'd just lock the doors.
Don't worry, guys. We'll edit that out.
No, we won't.
Yeah, we will. He's a wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, and quickly fouls it off, and it's now 2-2. Roberts, ground ball to Vermillion. He's short hopped
nice
it
play.
over to first, and I don't think he can hang on. He's safe.
Nice
First
try.
of all, great try, because that's blinding speed going down the first base line. But not enough juice on the throw. It's 2 outs. Roberts on first. And now
Nice play at short.
batting
nice pickup.
MJ, Mike Jarecki, and we love that afternoon show, Monday through Friday on Extra Sports 910. Jarecki, he
There's a
lines
hit.
it, and he shows some
Oh, here we go.
athleticism, and Roberts is going to try to continue to third.
Don't
He
get hurt.
misses
Don't
third
get
base.
hurt.
He goes back, and second and third. We'll have no multi-million-dollar injuries today. Thank you. We almost shot him, too. I watched you. Yeah.
I said.
Oh,
I
no,
said he
it
would have
was a
home run.
stand-up triple. And three runs batted in. Okay, second and third, 2 down, and that brings up Bo Brack. The
This is a big hit.
shortstop.
They need this run.
We need runs.
This is big.
11-6. Brack looks at the first pitch, and it's too low. It's a ball, right?
Gene throws it low, purposely.
2 balls and a strike.
Right
and
up.
he ropes this one in the left center. This could drop. Rhodes is underneath it. He makes the catch, and that will retire the side, breaking the hearts of Extra Sports 910 as they trail 11-6, going to the bottom of 6. All right, we are going to bottom 6. The bottom of the 6 right now. The CEOs of the Valley have a commanding lead, 11-6 over Extra Sports 910, and we have been moving a few positions around for Extra Sports 910. Now at first base, that's Chris Lewis from the Fantasy Forum. Over at third, that's Jeff Santo taking over for Dan Bickley.
Roberts is in left.
Roberts is in left.
Monica Farrell from Clear Channel.
That's Bauer taking over in center.
If you need to sign it at the airport, get a hold of Monica.
Monica's got it going on. All right, here's our pitcher. And it's a fly ball down the left field line, and Santo cannot handle it, but it is foul and out of play.
He missed it because he's got
That is strike 3 in 16-inch softball. Of course, that second foul ball is an out, and that brings up the catcher for the CEOs. That's Deborah Johnson, and Deborah's been busy today.
Yep. The most important thing, she didn't get hurt on it one time.
Quickly, 2-1. There's a flat one, and it's now 3-1.
She's
likes,
walked
yeah,
3 times, I think, so far.
She uses her batting eye up
Selsko's,
there.
Zalesko's afraid of her. Won't pitch to her.
And she's going to
finally
take
a
a
strike.
strike, and it's
Finally.
full. So if this is anywhere close, she's going to have to be swinging now.
She don't have to.
And she does, and misses, and that's strike 3.
Now we know why she was walking.
All right, that brings up our right fielder this afternoon. That's Paul Dykstra with 2 down.
This guy can play.
11-6, the CEO's lead. And the first pitch is inside from Zalesko. 3-1 quickly to Dykstra. And he walks. Man on first base, 2 down, and that'll bring up our third baseman this afternoon and all day long. That has been Todd Davis. And it's a fly ball. Out there is Roberts. He can't make the catch. Neither can Brack. It lands 2 on, 2 outs. And that'll bring up the catcher in the last inning for the CEOs, Hannah Deiter.
She practiced all week, something most of these guys didn't do.
I've been practicing her name all week. I got it. Hannah Deiter. And it's a ground ball. Gets by Zelasco. Santo tries to cut it off before it gets to Brack, but she's safe at first. Bases loaded. 2 down. And that'll bring up Scott Sanders. 11-6. The CEOs are looking for some insurance runs here in the bottom of the 6th.
He gets a hit here, we can go home.
Pretty much game over should they cash in with this opportunity.
He's with Octane Raceway.
Extra Sports 910 is bringing the infield in. They need to make the out here. With 2 outs, they don't need to be in, but they're in.
Ooh, good strike.
And a quick strike. That's 1 and 2. A strikeout would be clutch.
I throw it heavy.
For Zelasco and
I
Extra
throw it
Sports
heavy.
910 here. And it's a fly ball.
Let it go.
Let it go. It'll go foul, and that'll do it.
Yes.
That retires the side on the strikeout. Let's go. 11-6. The CEOs lead. Extra Sports 910. Top of the 7th. Last licks. Okay, we go to the top of the 7th. Extra Sports 910 stepping in the box, down 5 runs. Holmquist with the ball on the mound again, and Bauer steps into the box. It's a ground ball. Vermillion backhands it, fires it over to first. That's Dirks to record the first out of the inning, and Bauer's not happy in right field right now. Having a tantrum. He's having a temper tantrum in right field.
No, he's staying down there because that's where the beef sandwiches are and the hot dogs.
There we go. That brings up Bickley, our third baseman for most of the afternoon.
He's our leader for this team.
Another one of our drive time hosts on Bickley and MJ.
Does a great job.
He does do a great job.
Journalist for Republic.
That's right. You can read his column in the Arizona Republic. And Bickley lines this one up the middle. There comes, this is going to drop right in front of Mike Rose, and Bickley has a 1-out single, and that's what Extra Sports 910 needs right now, Al, base runners.
Well, Lewis got hit last time.
Chris Lewis now stepping into the box. He made a nice catch in shallow left to end last inning. And the first pitch to Lewis is a ball. Bickley with his lead off of first.
Nice
Lewis
shot.
lines this
Good
into
shot.
right field. That's going to drop for a hit. Now first and second, 1 down, and no need to take chances for Bickley, even though it gets by the shortstop. Vermillion, first and second, 1 down, and that brings up Jeff Santo.
Another coach on the CEO side was Rich Mall from Business Journal.
And Santo lines us down the right field line. That's going to fall just foul. Quickly 1 and 2 on Santo. Extra Sports 910 needs base runners, down 11-6 here in the top of the 7th. This is their last lick. 16-inch softball, 7-inning games, right, Al?
Yep, unless it's a Coyote Blackhawk game, it's going to go overtime. Thank you.
Santo, ground ball. Vermillion picks it up. Over to second for 1. Over to first. No, they're going to hold on to it, but that's 2 down now. And Extra Sports 910 is down to their last out, trailing by 5 runs, and that'll bring up the pitcher. Danny Zalesko has done a fantastic job on the mound today. He had no defense behind him, so you really can't blame the pitcher.
No, we'll build a statue of him.
Well-known concert
This is a Chicago.
promoter.
Yeah, this is a Chicago tournament. Can you get the Buckinghams? Yeah. Amada wanted to turn a double play on that one, but Jeff was too fast. Stepping out. Gene's talking a little trash. Notice Gene didn't have a glove today.
And fly ball down the left field
Whoa.
line. Adam tried to make the catch. It was a little dangerous over there as he was flirting with our camera equipment. But that'll be 2 strikes on Zalesko.
He should have dove. Could have gone out with a flame of glory. There's a big hit. Keep this thing alive. No pressure. Todd, nice play. Nice play at first. This game
is
It's
over
over.
as Velasco is retired at first base, and that will do it. The CEOs of the Valley take the feature game here at the 9th annual 16-inch business-to-business softball desert classic presented by Avnet.
And Emerson in Insight, and this is their 3rd out of 4 tries. So these guys ain't too bad.
Not a bad effort
So
by
extra stock options for everybody.
Everybody's
raises,
tradable.
bonuses.
Al. Everybody's tradable. We have no franchise players.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, of course. I'm Corey LaRusso from Extra Sports 910, Clear Channel Broadcasting, and I want to thank Al Mag, my color co-host, for this afternoon's ball game. The final score, the CEOs of the Valley 11, Extra Sports 910, 6.
Hi, I'm at the 9th annual Avnet B2B softball tournament, and I have a special guest with us today, Jeff Santo. And Jeff, when was the last time you played 16 in softball?
Last time I think was 1990. Yeah, 90 or 91, before I left Chicago to go out to California.
Okay.
So it's been a long time.
Where did you play?
I played in Glenview Park District, so we won 4 championships.
Oh, yeah.
at
What
16
was the name of your team?
It was Spiros, Delicatessen.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a great team. So, and my brother was a great softball player, and I miss it. I came out here today and everyone's wearing gloves. I said, I can't be wearing gloves, you know. But you know, we play without gloves. That's how it was, and you get used to it. So it would actually be awkward to play with a glove. So it's great. It just and then you got the music playing over here. Reminds you of the time that you actually played the game. So
Now, I understand your father played.
he did. After my dad retired from baseball, he played 16-inch in Glenview too. So yeah, he got some big crowds out there. It was Torco Oil was his team because that's where he worked after he retired. And we'd always go out, and that's how we got into the game because my dad started it. So yeah, it goes way back. And out in Chicago, you know, that's the main game. You know, these guys, they're like professional baseball players in 16-inch softball. They really are.
So was he any good?
He was real good. Yeah, he was real good. He could pick it at short, and you know, but they would play him way out, you know, by the street, and so and he'd get heckled, which was fun.
Did he ever learn to dump?
No, he never did. You know, that's the hard thing about it because you got your stance has to be a little different. You know, a lot of guys, you know, move up in the box and hit it. So, you know, he was used to waiting back for a fastball or a curve, adjusting to a curve. So it's a different game. You know, and that was hard for me too because I played college baseball. My brother went right into 16, and he could hit that way. So.
Okay. So, what do you think of your dad getting in the Hall of Fame?
Oh man, it's an amazing feeling. You know, it was just filled with a lot of joy and also sadness too because we wish he was here for us to see him getting in. You know, he wanted that really bad, and it happened a year after he passed away. And so the whole feeling was really, we were just filled with so much joy, but also sadness too because he's not here. You know, I know he would be happy, you know, and we're going to go out to Cooperstown on July 22nd when he gets inducted, and it's something else, it really is.
Well, congratulations. I can't, as a 26 years I'm a season ticket holder of the Cubs, so I have that affinity without a doubt, but I saw him play a long time ago, back in the 50s, or in the 50s and 60s I was going to games. So I saw him play when there were like 4 people in the stands. So.
Yeah, early on in the 60s in his career, there weren't many people showing up, but then that 69 team came along and really
changed everything.
You know, opened the gates. It really did.
Yeah. So tell me about your charity. I think that's the main reason why you're here today, is to support a new charity or new activity going on in Arizona.
Yeah, my dad, you know, for 34 years had a walk for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation and has raised over $60 million for the foundation. It's amazing. And so we are now bringing a walk to Arizona, which is great out here. So that means a ton, and you know, that's his legacy. You know, he said, you know, yeah, baseball was a huge part of his life and broadcasting, but the main reason he thought he was here was to find a cure for diabetes, and so that meant everything to him.
Good afternoon, Randy Scott here, 100.7 KSLX. I have had the pleasure of being asked by the folks at Avnet to help him out with some interviews for the 9th annual 16-inch Desert Classic softball tournament, and I'm here with Tim Ring from 3TV. Hi, Tim.
Hello. Good evening. Good morning. Good afternoon. It's hot out here.
All that good stuff. So you're a sportscaster over at 3TV.
I am. Yes, indeed.
All right. So what I understand, Tim, is that you grew up playing with this particular type of 16-inch ball. Tell me everything you know about this game.
Well, you know, it's a 16-inch softball, generally played without gloves. Now, a lot of the people here in Arizona using baseball gloves, which is very un-Chicago-like. I think if people in Chicago saw people out here using gloves, they would be very disappointed, and they would mock and they would laugh and they would tease with little mercy. But 16-inch softball is a great game, unique to Chicago, but it's starting to spread out as Chicagoans kind of migrate to the nicer weather. They bring the 16-inch softball game with them. It's funny, there's an old movie came out, old now anyway, in the mid-'80s called About Last Night. It was Rob Lowe, Demi Moore, Jim Belushi. There's a scene in that movie where they're playing 16-inch softball without gloves, and people all over the country that saw this movie, and it was a very popular movie, you probably remember it.
I remember it, yeah.
Were stunned because they were watching them play 16-inch softball in the movie without gloves. And I remember people from all over the country going, why are they not using gloves when they're playing softball in that movie? Because it was filmed in Chicago, and everybody there got a glimpse of 16-inch softball Chicago style.
But they probably didn't notice the size of the ball, or they didn't take that in, and that certainly is the difference.
It is a big difference. The 16-inch softball is about yay big, and the 12-inch is about yay big. And the thing about the 16-inch softball is it gets softer as the game goes on, but in the first few innings, it's hard. I mean, it is hard as a regular baseball, right? So when you're playing without gloves, okay, in 16-inch softball, if you're playing third base or shortstop in that first inning or second inning before the ball softens up, it can be dangerous. It hurts bad.
Okay, definitely. Good afternoon, Brandy Scott here, 100.7 KSLX, asked by the folks at Avnet to help him out with the 16-inch 9th annual softball Desert Classic. I'm very excited to be here today. I'm with Faye Fredericks, who works for Channel 12. Of course, I knew that. Channel 12, Faye Fredericks with me today. And Faye, are you playing the game?
I am going to be playing in the game. I think I'm deep in the lineup, though. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't know what position you're playing yet?
I do not know what position I'm playing. I'm ready for anything, though.
Okay, so what do you know about this 16-inch ball?
Okay, so here's the thing. I have not touched a softball. Well, I couldn't actually tell you the last time I did that. I can actually tell you the last time I touched a bat because I took my bats from my two twins so they weren't beating each other over the head with bats. But that's the closest I've come to actually playing this game recently.
Okay, very nice. But your husband Tim Ring, he's going to play.
He's going to play. He's going to play. Yeah, he's the ringer in the family. Yeah.
Very nice. And so do your kids play baseball?
My kids are, since they're 4 and a half, they're just learning. They have a little t-ball kit in the backyard, and Tim goes out with them and swings the bat. But clearly, I should have been out there practicing with him, but next year.
Very nice. Did you play last year?
I did not play last year. This is my first year doing this. So I'm very, very excited.
Okay, well, very good. Have some fun today. Thanks for coming out.
Hey, thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
You bet. Very nice. He used to be with NSYNC. Now he's representing Insight.
That's correct. Actually, the last couple of years, I've been affiliated with the tournament. It's fantastic. A lot of great CEOs here today, but used to be with NSYNC and represented NSYNC here the last 3 years, and we sold our company to Insight recently. So NSYNC is now an Insight company. And we're real excited about the transaction to be part of the Arizona community out here, raising money for charity today. So.
Fantastic. And so you are going to be pitching today. So I'm standing here with the pitcher, Gene. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I got to tell you, it's a little bit different. And I don't know if we have one of the balls, if we can show it on camera here, but maybe you can grab one up back there. But it's a 16-inch ball, so right. it's kind of a weird softball game that a lot of people out here in Arizona haven't seen before. It's usually everybody plays 12-inch, right? And they play with mitts.
Right.
Well, you'll see me, since I'm from Chicago, not playing with a mitt today because it's sort of illegal if you're from Chicago, which I'm from, to play with a mitt. You can't play with a mitt in 16-inch ball.
Classic. I'm here with Steve, who is the CEO and president of Arizona Technology Council. Hi, Steve.
How are you today?
I'm excellent. Excited to be here. What position are you playing today?
I'm going to play first, but I'm also the manager and coach.
That's right. You're the manager and the coach for your team. And tell me a little bit about your team today.
Well, we have a very robust group of folks. They're all CEOs from around the valley. A lot of very good softball players, smart guys and gals, and we look forward to crushing the other team.
And how many years have you participated in this awesome event?
This is my third year, and well, actually, this is my third year out of 4.
Okay. And how do you feel about playing with this 16-inch softball?
You know, I really like it. Last year I went 4 for 4, and so I really like the 16-inch softball.
Are you going to wear a glove today?
I wear gloves on both hands, yeah. Oh, and a glove for catching, yes.
Right, because apparently in Chicago they give you a hard time if you wear a glove with this particular ball.
Well, we don't have nearly as much experience as they do. You know, they play 16-inch softball all the time. We play it once a year, so.
Okay. And what I know that you're the CEO and president of Arizona Technology Council. What else do you do?
Well, I'm very engaged in the community. I serve on the Frank Lloyd Wright Foundation board. I serve on the board of the Botanic Garden and the Arizona Science Center. I ride a Harley and play golf.
Very nice. Well, congratulations on playing today. I hope you do well. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
For charity this year, I'm here with Chuck, the leader. Chuck, the softball extraordinaire is what I'm hearing.
I don't think so, but it's fun to play.
Okay, and what company are you representing this year?
I'm with One Neck IT Services.
Okay, and so are you excited?
Oh, this event is great. It's always a lot of fun to get out with guys you know and meet some new CEOs and compete against sports talk radio.
Very nice. And were you involved last year?
Yeah, this is, I think, my 4th year.
Your 4th year playing?
Yep.
And did you win last year?
Yep, we won last year big. We're 3-1, although they brought in some ringers this year, I think, so it's going to be a little bit more competition.
I heard that the Bickley team is pretty solid.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of the Cardinal players and Deuce Latui from the Seahawks, so they're good. They're here to play. So
very nice. So what do you think about the difference between the 16-inch softball and the regular ball? How do you feel about playing with that?
Well, when you're a shortstop, you're glad to have the big fat ball coming at you, but it's a little bit harder. That big ball just spins a lot, so it's hard to square it up.
So it's a little bit different?
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Okay, very nice. Well, thanks for spending some time.
Thanks. All right. Bye-bye. Thanks.
For charity, and I am here with Mary Lou at the Phoenix Children's Hospital, and they're one of the recipients of today's tournament. So, Mary Lou, tell me about what you do with this awesome dog and how this all helps out with the Phoenix Children's Hospital.
Well, our therapy dogs and their handlers come to the hospital to visit the patients to improve their day, help them do their rehab exercises, help them take walks when they need to get up out of bed and go do some things. So the funds that we get from the tournament help us keep the training going for all of our therapy dog teams, help us provide the marketing materials to patients, little trading cards for them to remember the day, so really improve their situations.
And who are we here with today? What's the name of this beautiful dog?
This is Diva, and she's very excited to be at the softball tournament today, and she is one of our longtime therapy dogs, and Wendy is her owner, and she's showing off some Avnet stuff on her things and spreading some joy today.
Well, it really is a great event, and it's fantastic that we were able to have some time with you as well to find out, after all is said and done, where the monies are going to for a wonderful cause. And thank you for all you do as well. It was very nice to meet you.
Thank you. We sure appreciate everything the Avnet does for us. Thank you.
You bet.